Good day, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ. Have you ever heard of a place in the world where God is believed to shelter his people during the final days of the earth? A place where people believe it will be the refuge during the tribulation, when everything on earth is descending into chaos? That place is the Philippines. But is this the truth, or just a legend? Join me as we explore the mysteries of a country believed to be chosen by God as a sanctuary during the final moments of the world. Why the Philippines? Imagine a country where every person holds a strong belief in God's protection, a nation that has endured countless. The Philippines, a country not unfamiliar with natural disasters, particularly the world's strongest typhoons. Every year, this country faces dozens of storms, and it could be said that the Philippines is always at the center of nature's harshest challenges. Yet the strange thing is, despite the devastation, the people here continue to stand strong. And this has raised the question, could these storms be part of a greater plan that God has set in motion for this nation? With over 20 major storms each year, the Philippines bears the brunt of tremendous destruction. However, the people of the Philippines believe that in these storms, they are not alone. Could it be that God is preparing a safe refuge for them during humanity's darkest day? According to legend, these locations were chosen not just for their geographical position. When we talk about the divine protection of God, we cannot forget the special historical events that the Philippines has experienced. These events, though they may seem like ordinary challenges, bear the marks of intervention from a higher power. God's protection has been evident throughout history. The Philippines has faced numerous challenges, from being conquered by Spain in the 16th century to the significant influence of both the United States and Japan during World War II. The people of the Philippines have always had to fight to defend their land. But what's notable is that each time they faced danger, they found miraculous protection. One of the most memorable historical events is during the Pacific War in 1941, when Japan attacked the Philippines. The country endured bloody battles, however, something strange occurred. Despite the fierce attacks, the people found strength and the ability to recover from the massive losses. Could it be that God was protecting them during their darkest hour? However, it wasn't just in times of war that this divine protection became more evident, but also in the face of natural disasters. One prominent example is Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. Yolanda was one of the strongest storms in human history, causing immense devastation. But when the storm passed, miraculously, although millions were affected, the number of fatalities was much lower than initially predicted. Many locals recount that they felt the intervention of a supernatural force protecting them in those life-and-death moments. There's one particularly special story during Typhoon Yolanda. A group of Christian worshippers prayed through the night at a church, and miraculously, this area was not as severely affected as the surrounding regions. This led them to believe that God had intervened, protecting them from the wrath of nature. Although the Philippines has endured many natural disasters and historical challenges, there's one very special thing that the people here continue to believe and feel every day: God's divine protection, not only in moments of war or disaster, but in every step of their lives. They sense the presence of an invisible power, a hand of protection. But could this just be coincidence, or is it part of a greater plan that God has for them? One reason the people of the Philippines believe in this divine protection is the unexpected and miraculous signs they have witnessed over the years. Let's look back at some of the standout events, things that the people involved insist cannot be explained by theory or science. One of the strangest stories related to divine protection is about a small village on Leyte Island in 2006. When a large storm hit the area, the entire village was covered by a dark cloud. People were scared and ran to seek shelter. However, while surrounding areas were severely devastated, this village was untouched. Survivors recounted that during that night, they felt an invisible protective force, as if a divine hand was shielding them. Such stories are not rare in the history of the Philippines. In a recent study, researchers discovered that people in these areas have a strong belief in God's protection, and this faith has become a spiritual shield that helps them overcome fear. Divine protection doesn't only come from nature, but also from the belief in the presence of a higher power. Another story took place during the massive earthquake in 1990 when a terrifying quake caused widespread devastation in the Luzon region. After the earthquake passed, a small church on a hilltop remained intact and untouched, while surrounding buildings collapsed completely. The people in the area believed that the safety of the church was due to special protection from God because it was a place where they prayed daily. Divine protection is not just about natural disasters. It also brings peace in everyday life. The people of the Philippines often go through tough economic periods, yet they remain resilient. Many stories recount that during financial crises, they received help that couldn't be explained, unexpected sums of money, gifts with no clear source, or miraculous events that helped them through difficult times. One could say that the divine protection the people of the Philippines receive is not only about miracles in urgent situations, but also a peace within each individual, an unwavering faith in God, knowing that He will always be there to guide them through every trial. The story of God's divine protection over the Philippines doesn't end with historical events or natural disasters. It's a long journey of faith, sacrifice, and resilience. And perhaps, in the upcoming days of tribulation, it is this faith that will help the Philippines stand firm, becoming a safe refuge for those seeking God's protection. With these mysterious historical events, we must ask ourselves, is this protection truly a coincidence, or is it the result of a greater choice made by God? Could this country be prepared to become a refuge during the Great Tribulation? Let's continue to follow this story, as there is so much more we don't yet know about the divine protection this country has received. The prophecies in the Bible, from ancient times until today, have always carried deep implications. And there is one thing many people believe: these prophecies may be pointing to a special role that the Philippines will play in the end times. Let's take a look at some prophecies that many believe may be related to the Philippines. In the book of Daniel, we see a description of the last kingdom, a nation that stands firm during the darkest times. The story of Daniel in the lion's den is a clear testimony of divine protection, where God shielded him from dangers that no one could explain. There is a special prophecy about the end times. At that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since. Additionally, in the book of Revelation, we find prophecies about a place of refuge that will appear during the time of tribulation. Revelation 12 verse 14 describes a place in the wilderness where the righteous will be protected from the wrath of the dragon and terrible trials. Many believe that the Philippines, with its unique geographical and cultural conditions, could be the place referred to in this prophecy. Revelation 12 verse 14 also describes that the woman in this prophecy will be nourished for a time, and times, and half a time. Many scholars believe that the woman symbolizes a faithful nation, and the place in the wilderness refers to a peaceful land where God's people will find refuge. With its beautiful landscapes and the isolation of many remote areas, the Philippines could indeed be this refuge. Another notable detail in the prophecy is the raising up of a kingdom. The story of Joshua and his victory over larger nations is a clear example of divine protection and help. Joshua 1 verse 9 records God's instruction, "Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Could this protection be reserved for the Philippines in the difficult days ahead? The correlation between the prophecies in the Bible and the current situation in the Philippines seems to be no coincidence. These signs suggest that a nation with strong faith in God, where believers truly find protection in their faith, may become the place of refuge during the Great Tribulation. For centuries, the Bible has recorded strange and mysterious prophecies, causing millions around the world to believe that these are not just stories from the past, but guidance for the future. But can we begin to notice that these prophecies are starting to come true in today's life, especially with the Philippines? One prominent prophecy is found in the book of Mark 13 verse 10, where Jesus talks about the signs of the end times, and the gospel must first be preached to all the nations. Notably, with the Philippines being one of the countries with the highest Christian populations in the world, it is clear that this nation has indeed fulfilled this prophecy by becoming a center of Christian faith in Southeast Asia. The strong preaching of the gospel here is not just a sign of strong belief, but also preparation for an important role in the last days. Furthermore, the prophecies in the book of Revelation also seem to have a strange connection with the reality in the Philippines. In Revelation 7 verses 9 to 10, there is a vision of a vast multitude from every nation and tribe standing before the throne of God, singing praises. Salvation belongs to our God, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb. Could the Philippines, with its strong Christian culture, be a part of that multitude, a place where all believers, whether African, Asian, or from anywhere else, gather to worship God? Moreover, in the prophecy of the book of Isaiah 60 verses 1 to 3, it is written, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you." This can be understood as an expectation for a nation to become a guiding light to other nations, a nation that will play an important role in bringing light to the world in the last days. In recent years, the Philippines has continued to grow in influence within the global Christian community, with thousands of churches, missionary organizations, and religious conferences. Especially the Philippines' participation in international religious conferences and the development of global missionary programs have shown that the Philippines is truly a shining light in this dark world, just as prophesied in Isaiah. Another noteworthy prophecy is found in the book of Joel 3 verse 2, which speaks of the gathering of nations. These prophecies are not just symbolic statements, they truly reflect the reality today. When we look at the special position of the Philippines in the modern world, with its deep Christian culture and growing influence, we might be witnessing these prophecies becoming a reality. Could it be that the Philippines is the place of refuge that God has chosen for the righteous during the Great Tribulation? Interestingly, not only theologians and Christian scholars, but even sociologists and historians, are beginning to notice the strange connection between the historical events of the Philippines and the prophecies in the Bible. So, can we consider the Philippines an important part of God's plan in the last days? Let's continue to follow and find out the answer. So, did these prophecies foretell something about the future of the Philippines? Will this country truly become a safe refuge, as predicted in the Bible? Let's continue to explore with us to find the answer. Not only are the prophecies in the Bible significant, but the story of divine protection in the Philippines is also proven through real-life events, strange occurrences, and historical milestones of the nation. When we look at the culture, the folklore, and traditions of the Philippines, it becomes clear that this country has had special signs and connections with the prophecies. One of the interesting stories in the history of the Philippines is about the miracles that happened during natural disasters. Located in the Ring of Fire, the Philippines endures many powerful storms and earthquakes, but the miraculous part is that its people remain resilient and survive these disasters. Stories of strange protection from massive storms and violent earthquakes have led the people of the Philippines to believe that they are not only protected by human efforts, but also by some divine force. Prominent in the local folklore is the legend of Santuario de San Pedro, a place where people believe they will be protected if they truly trust in God. Locals tell that, during times of natural disasters, light from this church shines mysteriously and helps protect them from violent storms. This isn't just a tale passed down verbally, but an integral part of the cultural consciousness and faith of the people. There in the Philippines, faith is not only expressed through religious ceremonies in churches, but also strongly reflected in traditional festivals. One of the most prominent festivals is the Sinulog Festival in Cebu. This is not just a celebration, but also an occasion for the people to express devotion and seek God's protection. During this festival, thousands of people participate, each carrying the belief that through the dances and songs of praise, they will be sheltered and blessed. From traditional dances to powerful performances in the Sinulog Festival, all are deeply rooted in faith in God's power. In daily life, the people of Cebu believe that during the festival, if they pray earnestly and participate in the rituals, they will receive divine protection, overcoming any trials and dangers in life. The Sinulog Festival is an opportunity to express gratitude to God, but it is also a time to pray for protection in the days ahead. In fact, throughout the centuries, the people of Cebu have witnessed many major natural events, from powerful storms to earthquakes, but strangely, they have always survived and quickly recovered. The locals believe that their faith in God has helped them stand firm and is the driving force to continue their lives. Another important festival that shows the connection between faith and divine protection is the Ati-Atihan Festival in Kalibo. This annual celebration honors the conversion of the native people in the area when they embraced the Christian faith. Like the Sinulog Festival, Ati-Atihan is not just a celebration, but a time for the people to express reverence and seek God's protection. Participants in the parade dress as indigenous people, painting their faces black to show gratitude and sacrifice. However, what makes the Ati-Atihan Festival even more special is that it's not just a time to remember the past, but also, they are vivid symbols of the connection between faith and divine protection in everyday life. The people believe that in difficult moments, it is faith that will help them overcome any challenge, for divine protection is always present. Certainly, these festivals hold cultural value, but they are also sacred occasions to connect the community, strengthen faith, and pray for a peaceful future. With festivals like these, the Philippines not only preserves its cultural values but also serves as a reflection of deep faith in divine protection. Just as the prophecies in the Bible foretold, it can be said that the connection between Filipino culture and the prophecies in the Bible is not coincidental. The people here have lived with the belief that they are specially protected, and this is reflected in their unique religious practices and the mysterious stories of divine intervention. With such a deeply divine and spiritual culture, the Philippines is certainly not a country to be forsaken in the difficult times of the world. This becomes even clearer when we consider how the Philippines has faced major challenges and remained resilient. When Typhoon Haiyan hit the Philippines in 2013, one of the strongest storms in history, thousands of people lost their homes and lives. But countless stories of miraculous survival emerged. Many survivors recounted that they were saved by an invisible force or by events that defied explanation. Undoubtedly, These stories are clear evidence that the Sinulog Festival in Cebu and the Ati-Atihan Festival in Kalibo are two of the biggest and most important festivals in the Philippines, each with its own unique way of celebration and distinctive characteristics. Deeply rooted in the religious and cultural identity of the local people, the Sinulog Festival, held on the third Sunday of January, is one of the largest and most vibrant festivals in the Philippines. It is a special occasion for the people of Cebu to show reverence to Santo Niño, the child Jesus. The festival begins with a colorful parade featuring thousands of participants dressed in traditional vibrant costumes, dancing rhythmically to the tunes of hymns. The Sinulog dance, considered the heart of the festival, has its origins in native rituals before the people converted to Christianity. These dances are believed to represent respect and prayers for protection from natural disasters and illness. The Sinulog dance is not just a simple movement, it is a way for the people of Cebu to express their deep devotion to God. However, this festival is not just a time for celebration, but also an opportunity for prayer. After the parades, people gather at the Grand Church in Cebu to participate. The Ati-Atihan Festival, held in January in Kalibo, Aklan, is one of the most unique and culturally rich festivals in the Philippines. This festival not only commemorates the conversion of the indigenous people to Christianity but also reflects the connection between the Ati people and other indigenous groups in the community. What makes the Ati-Atihan Festival special is that participants must dress up and paint their faces with unique patterns using charcoal powder. This is a way to show respect for the Ati people, who were the first to embrace Christianity. Throughout the festival, powerful drumming fills the air, and participants march together through the streets, offering prayers for protection and peace. The Ati-Atihan Festival is not just a cultural event but also a time to express reverence and ask for God's protection. Each step of the procession is a prayer, each drumbeat, a song of peace and blessing. Along with the colorful parades, worship rituals are an essential part of these festivals. Prayer services are held at grand churches, where people come to seek God's protection. Priests and ministers lead the community in these rituals, reading Bible verses and offering prayers for a peaceful new year. During these rituals, all participants carry the belief that their faith will shelter and protect them through challenges. The prayers at these festivals are not only for material blessings but also for peace in the soul and divine protection during difficult times. Through festivals like Sinulog and Ati-Atihan, we not only witness joy but also a deep faith in divine protection. The dances, prayers, and traditional costumes all carry a powerful message: God's protection is ever present, and through faith, we can overcome life's challenges.
Trusting that God is with us every step of the way, leading us to a brighter future filled with hope.